Little known fact about Chris Waters and Kevin Manor, they're actually substitute booth babes over at the Ubisoft booth. It's really kind of a disturbing sight. But we're not here to talk about that. Right now, we're Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. And to help me do that, I'm joined by Peter Garza, localization producer, and Yohei Shimori, director on the game. Gentlemen, thank you both for sitting down with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So the thing I wanted to open up with is what's been going on with free-to-play in the fighting game genre? We're seeing that with Dead or Alive, we're seeing it with Tekken, and now we're seeing it with the recently announced Killer Instinct. Why has that suddenly become such an attractive model for fighting games?
Well, I think, it's become an attractive model for games across the industry.
Sure.
And for fighting games, we've seen a real growth in fighting games in recent years. A real spread for esports, and you're seeing a lot of interest in fighting games. But free-to-play, I think, is a way for it to sort of break out into a wider audience. It's been, a closed... The fighting game fans like fighting games, and people might have trouble coming in. But going free-to-play is a way to offer some of the experience for just to get a wider group of people to have fun with fighting games.
Sort of cast a wider net, bring in a larger audience that may not, be willing to plop down $60 for a fighting game.
Exactly.
So let's go ahead. It looks like we're getting the game set up here. For you guys, with Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate and your free-to-play model, if I understand it correctly, there's both a free-to-play version and like a full retail version if you just want to get everything right up front.
Right. We do have on the PS3, we have a free-to-play version of Dead or Alive 5 called Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate Core Fighters. Okay. And it offers 4 playable characters, and you can fight online with other players. It doesn't have...
If I have the free-to-play version, am I going to be able to play online with people who have just like the regular retail version?
Yes. The fighting experience, it's a fighting game, so you want to fight other people, and we know that's got to be there. So you can select from 4 characters for you to play with, but you can play versus anybody else with Dead or Alive Ultimate, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate or Core Fighters.
And then in addition to the 4 characters in the free-to-play version, are we also going to have access to story mode, training, all the different...
So in the free-to-play version, story mode is locked. It's available for purchase. Okay. The free-to-play version, Core Fighters is really geared towards the fighting experience and getting people out there online fighting with each other and having a lot of fun with that. If you're looking for the story experience, that's also going to be available for purchase. Costumes as well will be available for purchase as well. Okay. Be available for purchase as well. Okay. In Dead or Alive.
Yeah, one of the hardest parts about fighting games can be just figuring out where to start for a new player. It's like I have all these punches, I have all these kicks, but how do I play the character?
Right. And so we went with a little bit. We added a tutorial mode in Dead or Alive 5 Plus, and now we're adding the combo challenge in Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. And so what you're seeing him do here is actually a new system. That's the power blow for Rachel. And then we're going to see about that's a power launcher. Oh, okay. That's new for Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. And it's a great way to follow it up with the combos. And as you can see, we're learning here.
You can follow it up with something like an
you can follow it up with the rest of the 4 in this combo challenge.
When you're trying to demo something on camera, you can do it a million times, but then once you finally get up here, it's like, no, your fingers just go to rubber.
Right.
Almost had it. So it looked like there were different, there was like beginner, intermediate, and expert level combos.
Right. So we're definitely trying to divide it up so that it'll ease you into things as you're going in. And hopefully once you get to the advanced and the special combos, you can actually take on other fighters online, at a high level of fighting. That's good. All right. That one's a little tough. Let's move on.
Sure. Now, is it a linear progression? Like, do you have to work down the list? Oh, no, it looks like you just started right at the bottom there.
Yep. So yeah, these are all available from the very beginning.
Okay.
So if you're a high-level fighter, you just want to practice one of the top-level ones, just go in and jump in right there.
Okay.
So the power launcher, as you saw, is great for launching opponents high. In the past, how high you juggle them has been a matter of how far you get into the critical stun for Dead or Alive.
Sure.
And this just offers another way to get people really high and to get them completely vulnerable in the air. You can follow up with, long juggles for a lot of damage.
What are the limits on the launcher? Like, I imagine you don't just want to be launcher into launcher into launcher.
Right. So the launcher follows the same sort of pattern as the critical burst from Dead or Alive 5.
Okay.
So once your health is at half or lower, you can use it, but you can only use it that or the critical burst once per round.
Okay. And it looks like we're also checking out another one of the new characters, Momoji.
Right. Momoji is also making her Dead or Alive debut. She's also a staple from Ninja Gaiden.
Okay. Talk a little bit about her play style and Rachel's play style as well.
So, Momiji is, of course, she's a ninja. She's with the Hayabusa Ninja Village. And so her playstyle has a lot of the ninja-like moves. She has a double jump, which none of the other characters do. And she has sort of her own take on the Hayabusa style. Rachel is a power character. Rachel, from Ninja Gaiden, uses a warhammer, and so she's just a really strong character, gonna manhandle her opponents.
Some people in the chat asking if Tengu is ever going to make a return.
Well, we're still listening to fan feedback. He's not in right now, but who knows? Maybe down the line, if people really want Tengu back, we can see about bringing him back.
Now, in addition to the launches that we saw, are there any other tweaks or changes to the gameplay mechanics?
Yeah, so we've done actually a lot of tweaks to really charge up tags. Tag matches are a really flashy way to have a lot of fun with people. You can have tag combos, and we have tag throws, which are new. Things like that.
Gotta work the knees. And I think you also mentioned, before we jumped up here, was sort of a snapback type mechanic.
Right. So in here, we should be able to show you a force out.
There we go.
Right there. And so you can see over on the right, the second player can't tag in right now. He's got the mark on his health bar. So once you force the player out, it's a certain special move, force a player out, and that character cannot tag back in for a certain amount of time.
And then once again, what are like, for the force out, it looked like that was a move that sort of had a long build-up, a lot of startup to it.
force outの条件について。
タッグパートナーがいるときに竜巻っていうんですかね。タッグボタンで出ます。パートナーいないと出せないんで。パートナーいないと出せない。
So you can't do it when your tag partner isn't available.
Okay.
Just a special command
So
for
you
bringing
can't
it.
use the move on an opponent if you don't have your tag partner.
Right.
Interesting.
So we're gonna change characters up a little bit.
Okay.
Hi.
And while we're getting set up here, in addition to having the new characters, obviously you can play as the new characters, but are they also going to have their own chapters and story mode?
No. The story mode, they don't have their own chapters in story mode.
That's
So here we're going to show off a new stage that we've put into Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate.
Okay.
We have over 20 stages, the most stages of any Dead or Alive game. And here we're going to be fighting in Sky City, Tokyo, which should also be familiar to any Ninja Gaiden fans. This was from Ninja Gaiden 2.
Are there going to be any character like DLC bundles?
We are looking at DLC.
Okay.
The specifics of that are still in the works.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely we're looking at how to extend the life once it's released.
So we're looking at Ein here, who's made
Ein is a
past
returning
appearances in Dead or Alive games. How is he different in this version?
まあ今回愛についてその愛の違いについて何かありますか？
愛はね、むしろあんまり変えてないです。今までデッドアライブやってきた人 ファンに向けたキャラクターなので、大きくわざと変えてないですね。はい。
So Ein is actually not that different from how he's been in the past. People have been asking for Ein since Dead or Alive 5 originally came out. And so we want to stay true to those fans that know him and that used him in the past. So he really should feel natural in Dead or Alive 5. And as you can tell, he's strong as well. He just beat the director of the game.
So we've seen Ein, we've seen Momiji, we've seen, I think Jackie Bryan is also, I think there are like two other new fighters that were missing.
So yeah, we have, Leon is making his return as well.
Right,
the strongest man in the world. And here we're going to show off Jackie, who is a new character again from Virtua Fighter.
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
So just as in Dead or Alive 5 with Akira and Pai, and of course Sarah, it should feel natural. We've really worked hard with Sega to make sure that Jackie fights and feels like his Virtua Fighter self. So if you play Virtua Fighter, if you play Jackie, you should feel at home jumping into Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate.
Yeah, has that been a sort of a difficult transition, adapting the character movesets from one game with its own set of rules to this game with a completely different set of rules?
Yeah, we came across that a lot in Dead or Alive 5 when we were working on the original sets of Virtua Fighter characters. And the original system is very similar, and DOA itself was sort of born out of respect for Virtua Fighter.
Sure.
So the series, itself goes back a long ways with Virtua Fighter. So it hasn't been that much of a challenge. Of course, there are things in the Dead or Alive system that are not in Virtua Fighter, and we've worked closely with Sega to make sure that we can incorporate those in a natural way that would work for their characters.
Get ready, fight!
This stage as well is a returning stage. This has also been a fan favorite that people have been asking for. This is Lost World from a past Dead or Alive game. So we are really trying to please fans with Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate.
Since there we go. The first Dead or Alive has come out. What sort of feedback you guys received about sort of like character balance or game balance overall?
We've had a lot of good feedback from fans about Dead or Alive 5 since Dead or Alive 5. And we put a lot of that work into Dead or Alive 5 Plus on Vita, and again, even after that, working into Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. And we're still balancing the game out, but we are very confident that this is going to be the best balanced Dead or Alive game that we've done.
We expect any like drastic changes to how characters perform or play?
There are of course new moves. Each character has new moves, and of course, new systems like the power launcher system.
Okay.
They're worked in there. But we've been working hard on our own, working with other fighters, and to really test it out to make sure that things are balanced across the board. And one of the things that we've been trying to push since Dead or Alive 5 is Shibori has been very adamant about making it balanced, but each individual character as a character. So you don't want to have it balanced by everybody doing the same move.
Sure.
We should have it balanced by the character fighting like that character should fight. So a grappler should fight as a grappler, but still be balanced against a striker who is going to keep striking.
Yeah, who's going to have that speed.
Right.
All right, folks, well, I think we're just about out of time. Thank you both for sitting down and chatting with us. Can you remind us when Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate is coming out?
Sure.
And on what platforms?
Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate is coming out in September 2013, this September. So, keep a lookout for it, and everybody, if you're on PS3, keep a lookout for Core Fighters as well. Download it, and we hope everybody has fun with Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate.
Enjoy the rest of the show, guys. All right, we're going to go ahead, folks, and talk 320.